Hello everyone, hello Nanoleaf stream. We're gonna be doing a little Q&A style interview with someone from Squanch Games. You can see their logo there. All about the High on Life game, and Nanoleaf has a little collab where we have some really cool bundles that use art panels and also the 4D. So now we're going to greet our special guest. And our special guest is going to introduce himself, so no spoilers from me. Hello, special guest.
Hi, nice to see you guys. I'm Colby Wahl. I'm the lead artist at Squanch Games. Worked on High on Life, our DLC, and previous titles as well.
We have like some burning questions that we want to ask, and because we have such a special guest, it's exciting to get some cool answers.
For the new people that haven't played this game yet, talk about the premise and the storyline of what the High on Life game is about.
Sure. So High on Life is a comedy adventure first-person shooter. It's pretty kind of it's adult humor, so it's very raunchy, kind of ridiculous. You kind of start with this alien invasion happening on your home planet, and you're kind of thrust into the greater universe, trying to rescue your family. There's an alien drug cartel that's using humans as drugs, and you have to use some, we call them Gatlians, but they're basically living guns that you shoot that talk to you, and they're the main characters of the game, essentially.
Can you talk about what inspired the art design of the game and the aesthetics of it?
Yeah, so our art director and I, we basically say Blade Runner meets Jim Henson. So it's got kind of this realistic surface materials and grounded world that you're in, but it's ridiculous as a Jim Henson, where you've got like Muppety characters and slimy characters running around and very colorful and saturated and all that sort of stuff.
And what inspired Squanch Games to create such a game like this?
Well, we love science fiction and we love humor. We love making people laugh. We love the games of our childhood where we just got to play. We didn't have to buy anything extra to play the game. It's just a single player all the way through, and you could play it without having additional purchases or anything like that. We wanted something that was immersive and unique. And so this was like basically all of our dreams combined into one game, and we love to play it, basically.
Awesome. And I've heard, the storyline is amazing in the game. Like, how did that come about? How did you guys brainstorm and come up with the creative and the storyline? And, from start to even from the beginning to the end, like how did you guys come up with the storyline?
So a lot of our writing staff came from cartoons and animation, and so we do a similar thing to that, where we have a writer's room set up where they're just kind of spitballing and they throw together, go through multiple script revisions. It can be pretty complicated because each moment is being reacted upon by 6 different guns potentially, or whatever, or how many there are. So like you have to account for all of that, so the narrative could branch and go in unique ways because of that. But we have a story mode that kind of makes the combat a lot easier and kind of makes things much quicker to get through, so you don't have to get bogged down in some of the difficult gameplay. But we have a hunter mode as well for those people that are looking for more of a challenge. So we have all those options, and there's a bunch of accessibility options too to make finding enemies easier and stuff like that.
That's good. So it really appeals to, like, I guess the whole range of gamers from any kind of skill level.
The first day my dad was playing it, he bought it and was playing it on his Xbox, and he called me. He's like, I can't figure out how to get back to my house. It was great.
Are there any specific gameplay mechanics that or features of the game that make High on Life unique or stand out from other games of this genre?
Yeah, apart from the talking guns, not a lot of games do that. We do kind of a couple different things. We have a warp-based system where you could warp in unique story moments through the game, like potentially a movie theater or a skate park or something, and you could play around in that experience. Or there's also a bunch of, I think there's like 4 or 5 full-length movies in the game that you could just sit and watch in your living room in the game. And so you just kind of enjoy that, as well as like a bunch of comedic skits that we get from a bunch of various artists that put into the game. So you get kind of like these advertisement, interdimensional cable type things that we like to give the players.
Can you talk about just the downloadable content or expansion plans for the game?
Yeah, so we just released High on Knife in October. We had a huge critical reception for Knifey. Like everyone's favorite character was Knifey, and they wanted more and more Knifey, and so did we, honestly. And so we put together this whole mission. It's like it's separate from the main game. It takes place 2 years after. There's your house is underwater now, and there's all this other stuff happening, and you get to go and retrieve Knifey's package from basically a base at Amazon, and so you're going out and looking for Knifey's package, and that's the premise.
So Knifey is the knife, and then who's
Yeah.
the gun?
We have a bunch of different guns that you can play. There's Harper, Gus, Kenny, Sweezy, and Creature, as well as a gun at the end that I don't really want to spoil too much. I'm sure everyone in the chat knows who it is. My favorite gun, I think, is Creature. I think you should leave and all of that. I can't remember his name. Tim Robinson. Yeah, I love Tim Robinson, and so I think him and Creature, and his design is ridiculous too. He's probably our most ridiculous design. He's got like babies on him, and you shoot the babies off of him, and the babies do things.
We have a few more questions. In your opinion, what makes this game very compelling and enjoyable for like newcomers to play this? You can tell by the already chat that everyone loves playing this game who's already played it. So for newcomers, I would just imagine it's just like such a trip to play.
Yeah, it's I would say it's the zaniness and the exploration and just the ridiculousness around every corner, and the amount of like little details that we try to put into our games. I'm pretty particular about when I'm making things in the game. I try to add a lot of Easter eggs and hidden stuff for you guys to find, and put some breath into the universe. And so that sort of stuff I think is rewarding. You know, you get to unlock new guns, and you get to experience the world and the universe. It feels very unique in that regard.
What was one of the biggest challenges creating this game?
I'd say just the sheer scope. Like, Squanch had never made anything this big before, and so it was kind of daunting to have this level of detail and this level of quality, and try to make sure everything feels cohesive and together. Because I worked on our last game, Trover Saves the Universe, and it was a lot more contained. You couldn't move around freely and go everywhere. And so once we opened up the world and people could explore it, like the amount of stuff that we had to fill every corner with took probably the most time. But it was also the funnest to work on because you get to really flesh out everything.
Cool. And someone actually just said one of my questions here. Is there a particular scene you love that we should look out for or try to hunt down in the game?
The one that I put together was, I did basically all the warp bases, so any of those are really fun. QD Town is a really fun one, and that was actually one of our earliest warp bases that we put together. There's also Little Shiddly, which I did basically all of Little Shiddly in like one night, so that was also really fun to make. And that's right behind the house, so you can't miss that one.
Awesome. For me, even just getting a sneak peek of the game, it's very vibrant and colorful, and that speaks to kind of like how it'll work with our 4D. So if we can kind of tie into that, like how it will work.
I think the first thing I noticed when I was like looking just at like previews of the game and stuff, and just like even the trailers and stuff, is just like how much color there is in everything, and how everything is like so vibrant and colorful. Like, what was the sort of like motivation behind that?
The real world is colorful, and we love color. Like there's so much, like there's a lot of games out there that are gray or browns and that sort of stuff, and we want to make things that will like make your eyes bleed with color, essentially, because we love all that stuff. And it kind of plays into the psychedelic themes of the game as well. And I only like working on stuff that's really bright and colorful anyways. And plus you could play with contrast really well when you have that many options. We took a lot of inspiration from like 90s like Nickelodeon color schemes, action figures. Like a lot of the bosses were based off of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures and comic books and stuff like that. So that's where a lot of our vibes come from.
Yeah, and I don't think we feel the same about color, right? Because like obviously our like lights do, like you can do all the range of white and functional lighting, but I think having the panels on the wall and now having the 4D behind your screen, it's like you can really bring the colors to life. And that's not even like with our regular panels, you can always like set scenes and set colors and all that stuff. And we know that you just got yourself a set of lines, so we're excited for you to have those and like play around with those colors. The colors are like super vibrant, but now with the 4D that it can mirror things, having games like this looks like, because of course you can like mirror like a Call of Duty or something, right? But it's not gonna be that exciting. But like mirroring stuff like this is like, it looks so good. Like it looks so cool. I think we mentioned before, but the game is available on, like you said, like all the Xbox, the PlayStation, the computer, all this stuff, like everywhere basically that you can play a game.
Pretty much, yeah. PS5, PS4, Xbox One, all the way up. Series S, Series X, I don't know, there's a lot of them. PC on Steam and Epic. I believe we did a Humble Bundle too, so you can probably find it there. We actually just reduced the price of the game permanently to $39.99 like this week, so get that. And there's bundles for the DLC as well that you can get, so you can play the whole experience.
Thank you, Colby, for joining us.
Thank you.
Hope to have you on again soon.